Today, we are focusing on a capital city that is actively, and I'd say aggressively, rewriting its own story. Addis Ababa.
Right.
It's the diplomatic capital of Africa, of course, but it's really aiming for a much bigger title, a global model for a modern metropolis.
And they've set a deadline.
By 2025, it's incredibly ambitious.
It is. And, it's already one of the fastest growing cities on the continent. But what's different here, I think, is that this multi-billion-dollar investment, it isn't just reacting to growth.
No.
It's being driven by a very fierce, a very intentional national vision. And that vision is aimed squarely at economic sovereignty.
That distinction is so key. Intentional vision versus just, organic urban sprawl.
Exactly.
So for you, our mission today is to unpack that. We need to understand the sheer scale of these mega projects, analyze the economic strategy behind them, and crucially, grapple with the social and cultural upheaval that happens when change is this fast. We've synthesized sources covering everything from, high-level government blueprints to the very personal ground-level stories from people living through it all.
It's a story of immense national pride, of progress, but it's also running headlong into the very real complexities of community, of history. So let's dive in.
Let's start with the most visible part, the physical transformation. I mean, the skyline of Addis Ababa is being completely remade.
Completely.
And what's immediately striking is how they're blending this deep historical symbolism with just pure, hard economic pragmatism.
They're not just building office blocks. Every major project is designed to send a message, both to its own people and to the world.
Take the Laguerre urban redevelopment. This is a massive one. A $1.5 billion investment.
Wow.
With significant backing from the UAE. We're talking about transforming a huge historic central area into this modern mixed-use district.
And that tells you everything about their economic model going forward. It's a move toward high-density, high-value, centralized commerce.
Right.
By creating this self-contained district, residential, commercial, cultural, they're trying to attract top-tier global businesses. But they're also trying to retain their own skilled professionals who might otherwise look to go abroad.
So it's a statement.
It's a huge statement that their real estate can command international attention, and they're using foreign capital to make that happen.
And then you see that same strategic thinking in the more symbolic structures, like the Adwa Memorial Museum. That's a $156 million project.
Yeah. And its purpose is purely national, purely historical. It commemorates the 1896 victory over Italy, a foundational moment for Ethiopian sovereignty.
Okay.
So placing this massive, expensive tribute right in the middle of all this modernization, it's a way of saying that this current economic drive is rooted in that same spirit of self-determination. It connects the past to the present.
Then you turn your head and you see the Mesob Tower. This is just pure commercial muscle.
The vertical city.
Yeah, exactly. A $681 million structure. The sources call it a vertical city. Why this intense focus on going vertical?
Well, it's partly a necessity. For a landlocked capital, land is incredibly precious. So going vertical maximizes the financial return on that central land.
Right.
But more importantly, a vertical city, offices, luxury hotels, residences, all in one tower. It's a global status symbol. It immediately puts Addis Ababa in the same conversation as, say, Dubai or Kuala Lumpur. It's architectured as economic intent.
And then, to anchor it all, there's Meskel Square.
The civic heart.
A $2.5 billion Burr redevelopment. It's gone from a simple open space to this comprehensive urban center with better transit commercial facilities.
Yes, and if you connect those dots, Laguerre, the Adwan Museum, Mesob Tower, Meskel Square, you see a unified strategy.
What's the takeaway?
Addis Ababa is using infrastructure to reposition itself. It's not just the home of the African Union anymore. It wants to be the indispensable hub of commerce and capital for the entire Horn of Africa.
That ambition to execute, that leads us perfectly into the next big challenge, mobility. Because you can build all the gleaming towers you want, but if people can't move, the city just grinds to a halt. And congestion has been a huge problem there.
A massive problem. And the strategy is holistic. It's not just about building more roads for cars.
It's the Corridor Development Program, right?
That's the one. It's the cornerstone of the whole urban renewal. And the scale, it's set to cover nearly half the city by late 2025.
Half the city. Wow.
The core idea is to create these multifunctional corridors, so they're aggressively integrating pedestrian walkways, over 29 kilometers of them, and dedicated cycling lanes. That signals a major shift in priorities.
So we're talking about much more than just painting a white line on the side of a road for bikes.
Oh, far more. These corridors are designed to be active public spaces. They're building in cafes, sports centers, new transit terminals. They're trying to create a more walkable, more social city.
And that seems central to this idea of transit-oriented development, or TOD.
That's right. TOD is basically planning your city on the idea that people will use public transit if it's convenient and well integrated.
And in Addis, that means focusing on the light rail transit system, the LRT.
Exactly. They're doing major upgrades to 11 of the existing LRT stations, turning them into powerful hubs.
And how does that help, say, an average resident who might live further out?
It's really an equity strategy. By strengthening those hubs, they're connecting the newer, more remote areas back to the central districts. It means that even as the city sprawls, people still have fast, affordable access to jobs, to education, to healthcare without needing a car. It links the infrastructure directly to opportunity.
Okay, so we've covered the concrete and steel, but the ambition goes further. They're trying to build a smart city.
Right. They're trying to leapfrog into the future with digital infrastructure.
And managing a city of this size and complexity.
It's almost impossible without it. You need that digital integration to manage traffic, utilities, public services. They're banking on tech for efficiency.
The scale is impressive. It's a national framework for hundreds of towns. But Addis is leading with 120 districts. We're talking over 280 million birr invested.
And it breaks down into 3 key areas. You've got smart governance, smart mobility, and smart environment.
What does that mean in practice?
Well, smart governance is about digital platforms for citizens. Paying bills online, getting permits. Smart mobility is about integrating all those transit systems we just talked about into one single efficient network.
And the smart environment piece?
That uses technology like sensor networks to support big green initiatives, manage water and power more efficiently.
Okay, so this brings us back to the real driver behind all of this. We see the skyscrapers, the walkways, the apps, but what's the fundamental goal? You mentioned economic sovereignty earlier.
It's absolutely about self-reliance. I mean, you have to look at the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, the GERD.
Right.
Successfully completing that project, a colossal project, without major external financing. It fundamentally changed the national narrative. It proved they could do it. It generated this massive confidence dividend.
So GERD was the proof of concept.
Exactly. And now you see what that confidence looks like in their new industrial plans for 2025.
What are they?
They're strategic hedges against foreign dependency. A major fertilizer factory, an oil refinery, and even plans for a peaceful nuclear power plant.
And these aren't random projects.
Not at all. They target critical vulnerabilities. The fertilizer factory secures their own agriculture and makes them a potential regional exporter. The refinery and nuclear plants are about cutting dependence on volatile global energy markets.
So everything we see in Addis, from the Misab Tower pulling in foreign cash to the LRT getting people to work, it's all in service of this bigger national goal.
Precisely. The capital city has to be the efficient, attractive, functioning face of that independent destiny.
Now we have to turn to the other side of this. A balanced view means acknowledging the social cost. And urbanization this fast, it always has a cost.
It does. And the biggest, most immediate one is displacement and affordability.
These ambitious corridor developments, the urban renewal, they're not happening in empty lots.
No, they have displaced thousands of long-term residents. And the relocation process itself is, well, it's highly disruptive. The sources consistently point out that people are often moved to these new condominium blocks way out on the periphery of the city.
So they get a new apartment, but
they lose everything else. They're cut off from their jobs, their markets, their neighborhood support systems. It creates immediate and often profound economic hardship, alienation.
I read one writer, Qualfesse, who described the feeling of it all as discombobulating. That's a powerful word.
It is, because it captures that sense of mourning for the cultural fabric. The speed is just breathtaking. Entire historic neighborhoods, the places where community just naturally happens, they can literally vanish in a matter of days.
And what replaces them?
Well, you lose those traditional third spaces, the small local cafes, the cultural spots, the new higher-end districts rise, and those old social anchors